welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
So I have to say, yesterday was one of the most extraordinary days we have had in the whole 20-year history of TMZ.
There really hasn't been a trial and a verdict like Diddy's in the existence of TMZ.
There really has.
OJ was before TMZ existed, and it was very different in the office.
Well, and it was such a mysterious kind of deliberation where everybody was guessing, and a lot of us, myself included, guessing wrong. And we watched this whole thing unfold and had to organize a lot of moving parts as all of this was happening. And
trying to put together all the shows, get everything up on the website.
And understand what was going on.
Right.
So the
analysis of it as it came in.
We shot all of this from start to finish, and we thought we'd give you a look at how all of that unfolded here as we were breaking stories, as we were putting stories up, as we were organizing all the various things we have to do here.
It's kind of like The Office, but it's the newsroom.
It is the newsroom.
Right.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, we think it's a verdict. We know it's a note.
Wait a minute, why do you think it's a verdict?
Because Ed Friedland, the head of the court system, is in the room, and I said, is it a verdict to him? And he nodded his head, so I left the courtroom and I left
CNN
Boston.
saying it's a verdict. Okay, CNN is saying it's a verdict as well.
Did they say, are the lawyers there?
Yes, everybody's in the court. I saw everybody in but Nicole Westmoreland. She was coming into the elevator as I was going down to the elevator.
Is Diddy in the courtroom?
Diddy is not in the courtroom. When I left, he was in the lockup, but there were a bunch of people who went back to talk to him. It was Ed Nifolo, it was Acevedo, it was Kenny. They were back. The marshals pulled up with them when I left the courtroom.
So, did the judge give any indication on how long before they read it?
No, the judge is not on the bench. Typically, there's been about a 10 to 15 minute lag time before the judge comes in after the notification is given.
Are you able to hear this?
Yes.
How long, when did the jury start? Do you know when they started deliberating today?
They came in at 8, they were told to be here at 8:45 to go straight to the room to begin their deliberations at 9. I did not see them because I was in another part of the security going through the building. But that's
so the most they could have deliberated was an hour?
Most likely, yes.
Okay, where are you right now?
I'm on the rear side where we're going to wait for the jurors to come out, and when you and I hang up, I'll get on the Zoom with you.
But wait a minute, you're not, wait a minute, are you going to be in the courtroom when they read it? Oh, Jacob's in the courtroom.
Wasserman's in the courtroom. I'm standing by to get the jurors when they come out because we think it's going to happen super fast, so I can't be in two places at once.
This had to be.
So they have a verdict, right?
Yeah.
So this is not a.
It's not a hung
it's
jury.
Not them coming back to say that.
They said they have a verdict.
Steve, you won't let us hang after an hour. All right. I'm bumping all our tape reps up.
So this split was 10-2.
I think it was 11-1. I think that.
No, they said.
I know, but I think that was just sloppy.
Was that pro?
I honestly do.
I don't think they were sloppy. They said we.
More to throw off the table.
But it was.
They could have meant, like jurors, 11 jurors.
You know what I was thinking? Honestly,
Yeah, I think it's 11-1.
And
that guy slept on it.
Somebody at my gym came up to me today and started asking me about it. And as we started talking, it was like, I think that there are, because if they found him guilty on the Mann Act, which I think they did, right? And they must have, because 10 people said there were 2 crimes. And unless the crimes were unrelated, like arson and burglary.
Bribery.
Drugs are the easy one. They asked the question about drugs during distribution. Now we know that one.
And it looked like they had gotten far enough down the predicate act to get to drugs.
But there were probably people who just said, this just isn't racketeering. And at some point, they probably came in today and said, look, you got to follow the jury instructions. And the jury instructions say, whether you like it or not, they say, you got to find them guilty if they have 2 predicate acts.
And of course, the old
holidays
coming up.
And the holidays.
We gotta go.
We gotta wrap this up.
We already got the day off work, so.
Yeah, but I mean, that's not fair to the jury. I mean,
It's not, but I think it's fair to human nature.
I think that there must have been some people who took a stand, thought it was going to be a hung jury, and now that the judge said go back in, the judge, these two jurors or however many, they're saying, okay, look, we can't do
That's why
that.
they got 10 angry people looking at them.
That's why judges insist on we're not going to give up early. Go back in and deliberate. He wants they want a verdict.
Hey,
Judge
Reagan,
Thursday, he won't accept it.
can you have Olivia call Garagos and see if they can do if he'll do the Tubi show after the verdict? I know, but Garagos doesn't know, so somebody's got to call him.
This one.
I'm sure it was
He has a gag. He's gagged on this.
Yeah,
Well, you know why he's gagged? Because his daughter said, "Don't you dare talk to him."
All right. Because of your podcast.
it's a daughter gag order, not necessarily a judge gag
He
order.
literally
Right.
called it a DV order to me. Yeah, no, he hasn't been able to talk about it, but he's gonna now.
Good.
He's got it now.
It's an angry man.
And he's got stuff to say.
Guys. Start over?
What is
Jury
it?
note says we have reached a verdict on all counts. This is the only update we have.
All counts?
Okay, all counts.
I think.
Is he in the courtroom right now?
Yes, he's there, right?
He's sitting in a chair with his head down and eyeglasses on.
I don't think Devin mentioned the color.
He knows.
You can wear that color in a beautiful three-piece suit.
I mean,
That's why I wore a plain colored shirt.
I stopped guessing with OJ, but
That's why he didn't wear his
because they railed on that first juror an hour after they started.
And you know he got up and was like, oh, this is
There's a very good chance he's guilty on all counts. Oh, and I think that's going to be what happens. Because why else would they have railed on that one juror an hour in saying he won't make a
The
decision?
judge cautioned everyone in the courtroom to maintain order.
Is the jury in?
No, jury's in.
Okay, so the jury's in.
We need televised.
So what they'll do, I mean, what they typically do is the foreman hands it to the clerk then hands it to the judge reviews it.
Did he standing up? Jurors enter.
Okay,
Did
here
he
we go.
standing?
Judgment time. Here we go.
He's been 6 to 12.
I still need 3 more stories.
This is like 8 stories.
We're going to be delayed on getting the show ready.
I will delay myself for this.
Judge, we have received your note. Juror number 5, have you reached a verdict? We have. Is it unanimous? It is. Please provide the verdict to the deputy.
In a hush.
I know.
They've reached a unanimous verdict.
So what, he handed it to the deputy hands it to the judge judge is reviewing the verdict. I'm not sure whether he's going to ask the foreman to read it or
The foreman will now read the verdict.
There you go. Here we go.
Oh my God.
This is it.
What we've all been waiting.
Will that automatically refresh?
This automatically refreshed, and I think they're going faster than this keeps crashing because there's so many people.
You're doing both?
I'll keep an eye on CNN. Can you keep an eye on Intercity? Reading the verdict. Is Brian outside?
Brian's outside.
He might
Jacob's.
be able to even like.
Jacob's
he has his
in.
phone.
Do you have Brian on Zoom?
I think Jacob, he might be able to like hear like cheers or
Is
like,
Brian hearing
and be able
anything?
to like tell us quicker
Outside the
than.
court.
I know, but there might.
You know what I mean? Okay. No. He's, okay, the deputy will inquire to the verdict. In the matter of U.S. versus Combs, count 1, not guilty. Sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution, guilty. So count
Wow.
1 and 2.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. If you're just joining us, we are giving you a look inside our newsroom when the Diddy verdict came down. So what you're about to see is the moment it comes in and our on-the-spot analysis of what the jury's decision means.
Okay, the deputy will inquire to the verdict. In the matter of U.S. versus Combs, count 1, not guilty. Sex trafficking of Cassie Ventura, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution, guilty. So count
Wow.
1 and 2, not guilty.
Wow.
Manax, guilty.
Wow.
All right, so that's sex trafficking, no. Count 1, no. Count 3, yes. Mann Act, Cassie.
And,
now we have
count
Jane.
3 is Mann Act, Cassie.
Correct. Now we have Jane for the sex trafficking and the Mann Act left.
No.
Oh my God.
If they say yes on Jane,
If they said not guilty for Cassie, then
It's just going to be the Mann Acts.
we got to see what they're doing. What did they say on 1?
Not guilty.
Guilty on RICO.
Racketeering,
So
not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty on RICO.
It's only the man.
Sex trafficking of Cassie, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution for Cassie, guilty. So now we just have Jane sex trafficking and sorry, I'm yelling. Jane sex trafficking and Jane Mann Act.
Sex trafficking, not guilty. Transportation of prostitution, Jane, guilty.
Wow, so 2 in the Mann Acts. 2 Mann Acts and that's it.
Up to 20.
But you know what? But that may be concurrent, and the prosecution.
Well, it's 2 separate acts. It wouldn't be.
This is
Oh my
even
God.
though he's found guilty. Huge. This is a loss for prosecutors.
Yeah.
I mean, their whole point was Diddy was a racketeer who forced them into sex. The jury said no.
This is the entire case now is just a simple prostitution case.
It's a prostitution case,
it's
which is
A prostitution case that he faces up to 20 years for.
No, we got that, but just the fact you brought it across state lines is the only thing different than.
And by the way,
I agree. It was the easiest count, and this is a loss for the.
They never.
People do every single day.
If this were just a Mann Act, they never would have prosecuted him.
It's a huge win for Diddy.
They prosecuted him on racketeering and on sex trafficking, and they lost.
But I think the judge will throw the book at him on the 2 counts. Because that's all they got him on, and he's been depicted as so monstrous during this trial that the judge in sentencing, he did, but they found him guilty on the Mann Act.
That is
I think he might give him.
Well, and by the way, by finding him guilty on the Mann Act, they could have technically found him guilty on racketeering, but they didn't.
You're not
Well, no,
shocked
because you
by
needed
this?
sex trafficking also.
Right.
No, because you could have 2 separate things.
No, but they have to be 2 different predicate acts.
Right, but the predicate acts for the Mann Act were still 2 different
I think
crimes.
that should be 2
No, it's one
separate,
crime, 2 separate
2 types of
Right.
predicate acts.
Yeah.
Not 2 Mann acts.
Exactly.
I think you had to.
There were plenty of things the jury could have found. They decided.
They did presumably not kid cutting, not kidnapping.
Well, not 2
Because
of
if
them.
they
Only
would have
Mann
found a second, they could have found him guilty on racketeering.
acts. Only found Mann acts. And they didn't have enough for RICO.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Expect that? That's
I mean,
not.
How did you listen to that Cassie testimony and come
And
to
not
that?
Wow.
anything.
So here's, they said it's an 11-year
Because it was 11 years.
relationship.
It doesn't
and
matter.
because
You
there
can
were
say
there were
no.
times where she said she wanted.
Yes, but they were
instructed.
I
times-
know.
The time she
There were
said yes
times
didn't
when she
negate
said
the time she
no.
said
That's the
no.
instruction.
No.
But there
But
needs to be.
no,
She
but
said no sometimes.
No, but what I was thinking of, when you listen to the testimony, she was saying, I didn't want to do it. She didn't say to him, no.
She did say no to him on her 29th birthday.
Yes, she
Daniel
did.
testified
She said,
that
"No, I
he beat
don't
her
wanna
up
do
and
this."
walked out of the room and said,
And then
continue
he-
the free
No,
call.
no.
But then he threatened her.
Yeah, that's
exactly.
what-
threatened her.
I understand that, but they didn't believe.
They didn't.
They didn't.
How?
They didn't believe it.
Guys, we have seen time and time again how difficult it is to get a conviction of a famous, wealthy person over and over again.
I mean,
It's
Harvey
just-
Weinstein got convicted, Bill Cosby got convicted.
Then he got out.
So,
Hold on, there are exceptions, but we also have Robert Blake and O.J. Simpson, and the list goes on.
yeah, but I can
and
explain.
on.
I can explain O.J. Simpson, and it has nothing to do with celebrity. It has to do with Rodney King. It has to do with Rodney King. That's what it has to do. I covered it.
I know you covered it, but
I'm telling you.
But the understanding in the world at the time, everybody thought he was guilty. There's a lot of people who said
I covered the
As
trial,
bad as
and I
it-
know what
So wait,
happened.
does
Back
he,
to this trial.
Hold on, did he
What
just
happened
walk
was there
out
were
today?
too many times that
No.
both Jane and Cassie
yes.
said yes. Said not only said yes, but said they requested.
But then
specifically
that's
for
jury
the women to have
nullification of the
recall.
times that
But
they
hold
said
on.
no.
What about the Kid Cudi case?
They don't believe it was him.
They don't. They just don't
proved
believe
it was him.
I know. What about the kidnapping of Capricorn?
She got destroyed on cross.
No,
So
they
what
said
I'm
she was
saying
taken
is
home every
they
day. It wasn't
couldn't-
kidnapping.
They just couldn't. They didn't believe that because had they believed it, there would have been 2 acts.
But
Not to question jurors about the deliberations. jurors, you can contact her chambers. You gave up a lot these 10 weeks. It's inspiring. You work together, rain or shine. You answered the call of public service. That should give us hope.
Okay, I'm going to just say something now. It's great that the judge advised them, and if they want to take the judge's advice, that's fine. But the judge cannot stop the media from going to this jury and asking them questions that, you know, I'm sorry. The judge can say that. I ask the media, why? I mean, why? The jury is excused. The media, any juror can say no, but there should be no problem with the media, anybody in the media, approaching an excused juror and saying, could we talk to you? And if they say no, fine. But I'm sorry. I've heard enough of judges saying to the media, don't talk. Why? Why? The jurors can say no if they want.
Fair point.
So I'm sorry about that. That's just wrong.
So let's go get them.
Well, we're gonna try, and everybody else is gonna try. Everybody wants to know, especially now. Especially now. I mean, look, Diddy got convicted on 2 serious felony counts that could land him in prison. I don't think he's going to get the maximum. He's a first-time offender. And you have to look at the overlay here, which is they found him not guilty on the main counts that caused the prosecutors to file this case in the first place. So I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the maximum. But whichever way you look at it, whether he spends 5 years in prison, which will...
Hey, Harvey, Agnifilo just said Diddy should be released to the judge.
Until sentencing.
Until sentencing.
Well, that's interesting because they don't believe he was the...
why? The analysis hasn't changed on his danger.
Yes, it has. It has. So he was found not guilty, Derek. He was found not guilty. If he were guilty of coercion or force or racketeering, yes, he should be held without bail.
Society is not at risk from somebody who just simply sleeps with prostitutes. It's just not a risk.
That's not what he's guilty of, not sleeping with.
No,
He's guilty of putting one on a plane going from one state to another.
That's illegal.
Yeah.
It's illegal, but it's not a risk. It's not a risk where you keep somebody in pending appeal.
So how much jail time are we looking at?
I don't know. We don't know.
It's 10 years per.
So, hold on, guys. This is huge. That the judge is going to have to make a decision now on bail.
That's a bail question.
This is, guys. This is huge. Whether if the judge.
It's huge.
So what? He would just be out until the sentence.
Yeah, he could be out pending sentencing.
Yeah.
Honestly,
it's a fair ask. I don't know that he'll let
That would be a hell of a last freak off.
This is going to show the judge's feelings on his
Agnifilo is making
dangerousness.
the argument about
you can't.
how he should be released.
You cannot.
The analysis is whether they don't
The same thing that he was saying at the bail.
The jury said no.
He's not convicted of a crime that would typically hold over somebody.
In Maui, he does not have access to his plane. This is his first conviction, and it is a prostitution offense. He should be released.
Yeah, I mean that's a compelling. That is a compelling argument.
They would never hold over somebody just on a
Mann Act. They would never.
Offense.
They would never.
But it's not the same analysis as the verdict. It just isn't. It's an analysis of
He was
dangerousness and flight
found
risk.
not guilty.
He is found guilty of crimes. He is going to be sentenced. Hold on. Now I think about this. Is he a flight risk? Yes, he's still hugely wealthy and he's been convicted of a crime.
That's why he says he doesn't have access to a plane. They still have his passport. He probably is not a flight risk at this point.
I don't know that you can say that he's one of the wealthiest.
Not everybody who's
Because you're
is
wealthy
held
doesn't
over.
mean you stay in
Okay, I
prison.
give one thing. His family is here and could sign a bond. He should be released today to go back and live at 2-Star Island. The judge says this is coming up right now. I will hear from the government in a moment. Are you proposing he just walk outside now?
Yes.
Holy crap! No, I know. I don't see how the if the judge says we're going to hold him without bail on a prostitution charge, no way. Can I tell you something? The government got its ass kicked here. They got their ass kicked. They never would have filed a Mann Act case against him. This case was filed because of Cassie's lawsuit, and remember, the U.S. attorney gets up and he talks about baby oil and Astroglide and all this other stuff. The jury bought Agnifalo's argument that this was, ooh, you got Astroglide off the street. They lost. This was a huge loss.
Let's turn it into just a game, right? Diddy.
Well, it was a game.
But Diddy did some monstrous things.
Yes.
You can't fault the prosecution. And the prosecution put on a really good case. I'm not faulting the jury, but it's like these things happen, and it was worth the risk for the government, right? He's a kind of a monster.
Yes.
Is he a federal crime monster?
No. Apparently not, according to the jury.
Yes.
We saw the Intercontinental video.
Yes.
That's enough to say yes.
Right.
That's enough to say yes.
But it's not enough.
But he wasn't prosecuted for that.
I got it. They didn't misdo anything.
This should have been a domestic violence case in state court.
The feds can only charge with what they can charge.
In state court. They
didn't have the statute of limitations.
No, I understand.
Because
they should not have brought the case.
We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to show you more of how all of this unfolded and what it all means.
Right, but first, Nancy Grace. She is going to be here to talk about the impact going forward in the legal system after the Diddy verdict.
She is upset and outraged.
That's an understatement.
TMZ's got every freaking thing. Big celebs, big stories, big events.
Justin Timberlake made Portland kids' dream come true by joining a bike bus ride. And they always listen to Justin Timberlake.
Cry me a river when they fall. Yeah, right.
It's TMZ.
Nancy Grace, never short on opinions. We can agree on that, right?
For sure.
We don't agree on a lot of things, but we definitely agree on that.
For sure.
We spoke to Nancy just hours after the Diddy verdict came in, and yes, she was outraged. One part of the testimony that I think is an X factor, as Harvey pointed out, we weren't in the court and didn't see this testimony. Nobody saw other than the jurors, saw the freak-off videos. And I'm wondering if you think that might have had a major impact on what they believed from Cassie and what they believed from Jane, because they saw these videos where they were, I'm guessing, freely and willingly participating. It seemed to the jury, participating in these freak-offs, and that might be why they didn't believe her.
I can't guess what was in their minds, but apparently, even though at the time the jurors looked away and looked disgusted, what did that really mean? I can't read smoke signals. I thought they were so disgusted by it because they thought it was violent. But you have just as much a chance of being right as I do. Maybe in their minds, they thought that Cassie Ventura willingly wanted to be beaten and thrown back in the pot of a freak-off having sex with 3 male prostitutes. Sure, I guess they did.
Okay, well, here's the deal. Even if we disagree on this, personally, I'm not sure you're going to.
We disagree.
I know, but I'm not sure you won't return the favor. But I'm not asking for it. I think your voice is so important, and I love the fact that it's loud and strong, and it has been for many years. And I really mean that. Whether we agree or disagree over the years, I think your voice has been super important in our society. So there.
She's not going to return that compliment.
You don't have to.
You know what, Levin?
What?
From the get-go, this was a David and Goliath. This was a David and Goliath going up against Sean Combs. At least the prosecutors slung the stone. At least they went out on the field and fought.
Nancy, I can't. They had 70 Homeland Security agents raiding 2 houses. David and Goliath?
Mm-hmm. That's what I said. When you go up against someone like O.J. Simpson or Robert Blake.
They had better lawyers. There
is a lot of goodwill on the part of the jury. It's hard for them to believe somebody they think they know would have done such a thing.
They convicted Cosby. They convicted Cosby.
And I also think, trial strategy-wise, that some of the victims' cross-examinations were so severe and so damaging that it hurt the whole case. When you throw in a weak point, it takes away from your strong points. I wonder if that's what happened. But don't worry, we'll find out soon enough, because I'm sure the jurors will make a lot of money on their tell-all books.
Oh, wow. That was the unkindest cut of all.
Yeah, I said it.
Well, at least that was at the jurors and not us.
Well, look back. Look at O.J. Simpson. Look at Simpson. Can I tell you a story about the jurors and Simpson? This happened to me. I was in New York. It was snowing. I didn't have a nice coat at all. I was freezing. And I did a program with our friend Geraldo Rivera. And we left the studio with the jurors in the O.J. Simpson case, some of them. And they had come out with a book, and I think it was Madam Juror something. And we left the studio, and of course I grilled them a little bit, but frankly, they didn't kill anybody. They just rendered a bad verdict, so I didn't want to be really mean to them. And they were older ladies, and we weren't in court, and there was nothing for me to prove, so why slash them at the throat, right? So I was being polite to them, and we walked out into the snow, and I was talking to them, and a limo pulled up, a big, long, black stretch limo. And they were getting in, and I said, well, bye, ladies. And they went, you know what? This is one of the best things that ever happened to me. I've been on TV. I've stayed in nice hotels. I've been to fancy restaurants. And look at my clothes. This is for TV. This is the best thing that ever happened to me. And they got in that limo, and I remember standing there in the cold and watching them drive off to the airport. And I thought about Nicole Brown, lying there with her head chopped off, okay? Just a little skin holding her head onto her neck. So it happens. These verdicts happen. And what can you do? Go hide under your bed? No. You have to get back in the ring. And I guarantee you, next week, these prosecutors will be back in the ring. So chew on that, Levin.
Well, I happen to agree with you on the OJ one. Don't get us started. We're not going to mention Karen Reed, folks. Promise. Okay, Nancy, we really appreciate you coming on. We really do. We really, really do.
I can see you loved every minute of it, Levin. Every minute.
I just love talking to you, Nancy. What can I say?
Really appreciate it, Nancy. Thank you so much.
Likewise, friend.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So after the verdict, the big issue was, will Diddy go home, or will he stay in jail until he's sentenced?
Right. Well, we recorded the very moment that news came into the newsroom, and you will see it next.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. So after the verdicts, the big question was whether Diddy would get out of jail pending his sentence, or is he going to stay there, which is what the prosecution wanted. This was a dogfight all day, and here's how it unfolded.
Diddy has been brought in. He's sitting next to Garagos reading. Agnifilo walks over to him.
All right, guys, Diddy is currently in the courtroom.
Yeah, we're still waiting on the judge, yeah, but
Still
Diddy's
waiting
now
on
in
the
the
judge.
courtroom.
So we are about to find out the big news.
Hey, Jamie, hey, who's writing? Is Austin writing? Do you have something ready on this? Say again? Yeah. So you have something, because I want to slam this up in 30 seconds. Once we know whether he's free or not. You know, I want to gamble. I mean, you're going to have to change it anyway if it's wrong, or write something. Write that he freed him on bail. That's what I have right now. Okay. Well, you can just change that. I mean, it's fine. I want to get, hey guys, I want to get this up in less than a minute once it happens.
Right now it's ready for it.
but literally a minute with an alert. I think he's gonna give him bail. How does he not give him bail if this is?
I'll tell you how nothing has changed.
Well, I think the letter from Cassie's lawyer was
something's changed. Not guilty, not guilty, not guilty.
Right.
Different analysis. That's what the jury said. You gotta give credence what the jury said. The jury said he's not dangerous.
What do we think about the letters from Cassie's lawyer and from Deontay Nash, though?
I found the Cassie powerful.
But the jury.
No. I'll tell you why.
it's not
No,
about
the jury
that.
didn't reject the testimony that she was beaten. The jury rejected the fact that it wasn't
I get it.
consensual. That's very different.
No, I understand that.
Their
Okay,
point
so
is
he's still
that
dangerous.
But
dangerous isn't the victim.
Cassie's opinion isn't determinative. That's her subjective feeling. The judge has to make his decision based on what he sees.
But Diddy didn't rebut any of the tendency that he was violent.
Exactly.
None
But the judge
didn't rebut it.
What I'm saying is the judge has heard that. So it's the judge's subjective opinion here.
Diddy was there no obligation to rebut
That's right.
Yeah, but the judge is under no obligation to ignore it.
Look,
But the judge is under no obligation to ignore what he sees.
So you think the judge is going to say, Cassie feels like he's a danger, so I'm going to deny bail?
Deontay, too.
Yeah, but it's not just
They're
them
saying that this guy's gonna go on a
individually.
revenge
Deontay's was like very broad and was like the witnesses.
If the judge,
this is a man that
if there is evidence, and maybe there is, that he would go on a revenge tour, then yeah.
No, you know what? There is evidence of this is a man that ignored the law for many, many years, and that he could be a danger to the people. Exactly. Even after he was under federal investigation,
drugs in his hotel
Guys, any second now we're going to find out whether or not Diddy will be granted bail or released.
To people who are doing that.
Let's get the stream in front of as many eyes as possible.
Here's the thing, James.
Spam the like button, whether you're on X, whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. Spam the like button.
You want to bet on it? You want to bet on it?
And drop what you think is going to happen, Diddy, in the comments. Spam the comments, spam the like button. Let's get this in front of as many people as possible.
Do I get odds?
I'll give you 5-1 odds.
Yes.
Can you refrain from?
Yes, and it's all live.
Do a treadmill better than Jim.
Are you trying not gambling?
It's too much fun.
Oh, listen to who's talking. That's rich.
I do it legally.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know.
Is your Twitter down, Ava?
No, yeah,
Are going to be
All right, I'm on blue sky.
this.
It's just an analysis.
And then we have to do well, that can be part of it. And then we have to do a G block for live. We'll just shoot it over here. Sort of wrapping
Victims'
up.
rights attorney expresses concern about Diddy potentially being released
Say
on
again?
bail. Victims' rights attorney expresses.
do a full room.
Oh, it's real.
Harvey, do you think if he keeps him locked up, it is a slight tell on how he feels at sentencing?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I think whatever he does now is a window into the judge's sentencing decision.
I think so too.
We have no idea when sentencing will take place, correct?
No.
They are separate analyses, but
sentencing report. It could be a couple months.
it's going to be a real window.
Months.
If he keeps him locked up, I think he could lock him up for like 10 to 20.
Bail's denied!
Bail is
Bail
denied.
denied.
Bail's denied.
Well, that's you should have bet.
Diddy is staying in jail, guys. Bail is
Bail
denied.
denied.
Lock him up for like 10 to 20.
Bail's denied!
Bail is
Bail
denied.
denied.
Bail's denied.
Well, that's you should have bet.
Diddy is staying in jail, guys. Bail is
Bail
denied.
denied.
Inner City Press.
Bail has been denied. Wow.
Hold on. Stop. Say
Oh
again.
my god.
The judge says, I've read the parties' submissions and others. The jury convicted the defendant of counts 3 and 5. For the following reasons, bail is denied. We don't know what the following reasons are.
Well, you can leave it on hanging now?
No, he doesn't know yet.
Inner City Press. That's all we have.
Oh God, I want to hear the reasons.
Well, throw the book at him
he's
at the sentencing.
Yeah, no, this is bad news for Diddy.
If the reason why is because he's an incorrigible criminal, then we have a good sense of what's
But he's gonna
Austin, you getting that? Yeah.
For the following reasons.
Hey guys, we're confident on this, on what Liam's looking
I've
at.
been following him this whole time.
Okay.
The AT
I'll
also did
let
it.
you know when CNN said it too.
Okay, me too. So we don't need to do a full room anymore. Just take that part out and just update Jim's piece.
No, I think we need to do a room on this. I think we need to do a room.
Still?
Yes. Do you see something?
No, I was talking to Trevor about
Can you get Eric? We need Eric Pauly out here. We're gonna do it.
Is there anything, Liam?
I'm refreshing super fast.
Well, we talked about, which I think is right. He had the legal right to do whatever he wanted. In fact, he chose that way leads to.
Huh? Yeah. I know. I had you right where I wanted you.
So, for those that don't understand what this means for Diddy, bail is denied. What does that mean?
Means that he is going to remain locked up until the
is that
sentencing
up?
hearing, at least. And then it might provide a window into the judge's thinking about what the jury did in terms of finding him only guilty of the
Stop,
manner.
I'm sorry. Austin, we've got to get this up like right now.
Yeah, but you will have to wait. Yeah. Okay, I'm out.
Okay, get this up immediately. Don't read it. Put it up. Austin's fine.
Here's the big thing. The judge could have gone either way. The judge had enough to deny him bail or allow him bail.
Yep.
So the fact that he denied him bail leads me to think that the judge is siding with a longer sentence.
It's a window into his thinking about the jury may not have gotten this right, and I want to make sure that he's put away for a long period of time. We'll see.
Wow.
Hey, Janet, are you seeing anything on reasons? Why is it gone
That
blank?
is huge, guys.
Do they have to give a reason?
No, he's giving reasons.
The judge is about to release his reasons as to why Diddy was
Hey, say
not
if you
granted
see
bail.
something, say what it is.
How about I don't like him?
It's possible the judge passed out from excitement.
Here we go. Even if the defendant was solely required to show that he is not a danger to the community, he could not meet that burden. Prior to the trial, the court denied bail and sees no reason to reverse that now. The defense conceded the defendant's violence.
That's what I said.
That's the latest.
I said they didn't rebut that at all. He basically said, "I'm a domestic abuser."
Harvey, the broken clock got it right.
I got it right this time.
Look, he refuses to even look at you.
But what are they? Are they referring to the Cassie video?
They're referring to he didn't rebut the testimony. He didn't put on a defense.
No, I think
That's
this.
what he said.
No, but I think this was
Hey,
during the bail.
he needs to get into the post.
Sorry.
What'd you say, Jen?
I think he's talking about during the bail.
He said,
no, the initial bail hearing.
Right, nothing has changed.
Okay, well, there is one friend who was ride or die for Diddy, and he is Ray J. And you are going to hear from him next. Well, we've heard the legal opinions about Diddy's verdict, but now we're going to hear from someone who knows him well, who's used to be at his parties, enjoying the lifestyle with him.
And has spoken out.
And when I say lifestyle, I don't mean freak-offs.
Not freak-offs, but
No.
he has spoken out in some support of Diddy during this whole trial. And there are very few people who had.
Yes. So joining us right now is Ray J. Ray, welcome back to TMZ Live. What's there? Well, there you go.
Yes. Yes and no. Yes and no.
Give us the yes and give us the no. Explain.
Yes, the big charges got dropped. No, he should have been cleared of all things. Everything that was on the paper. I mean, flying people in and out and they do what they want to do consensually is crazy. Civil domestic violence case, total different thing. Total different opinion. Everybody would have had a total different feeling about this. But if you look at the justice system, if you look at where we are, this wasn't for that and that wasn't for this. So there's a little bit of justice to it, but then there's also like, we won because he's guilty, but he's not on the big stuff when he should have just been guilty all along. But I just feel like he's coming home. He's going to Miami. And I think that this will be like the lesson moving forward for all the other crazy stuff that's about to happen now, because this is just the beginning of a big, conglomerate falling in front of our eyes. And this was just an example of what it's going to look like when certain people at the top don't like somebody, don't like something, or don't get what they want. With all due respect.
You just said the lesson going forward. What do you say that lesson is?
I just think that, I think Puffy's always been very strong. He's been resilient. He's shown me certain things when I've been around him, and how he approached certain situations he had within his board, within his company, and I applied that to some of the things that I use for my companies, whether it was Raycon or Scooty Bike, which he's been a big supporter of. It showed me a different way, and I've excelled a different way, and numbers changed kind of when I understood who I am in business and how to move in an executive space and be myself at the same time. And so now he's out. I think he's chilling. I think anybody in any situation like this is gonna want to just chill and be with their family. And I think Puff, at this point, when he comes out, just take a deep breath and chill, bro. And don't invite nobody over. Just chill with the fam. And that's it. You know what I mean? I think that's what's happening. But it is a celebration. But it's weird.
So once he serves his sentence, whatever that ends up being, and he gets out, and I hear what you're saying, that, you know, your advice is that he shouldn't have big parties. But what about business-wise? And by the way, he is going to have some parties. I mean, it sounds like you would go. Do you think that there will be other people who would go to one of Diddy's parties, or who would openly work with him regardless of the public's feelings about it?
You know, I wish I could curse, but I don't. I love you guys, and this is a very clean, sophisticated show, right? But I just feel like everybody would show up, and it'll be packed, and everybody's back, and you're free, and it's all love, and it'll turn right back into what the industry is, and that's fake. And is there a future in business for Diddy? I mean, I don't think that he's ever been hotter on the market than now when he gets out. I mean, you know, you got a book, you got the movie, you have a lot of things that you have to say.
Honestly, Ray, a reality show.
A reality show, right? But from the major scale, you know, we're talking, you know, with the head of Viacom. I don't think it'll go to VH1. It'll go to the head of whatever network is going to support it, because he's Diddy. And look how many people have been talking about this all day. I'm having an actual celebration party today. So we've been partying since 8. And I've been playing Diddy all day.
Well, look, we appreciate you taking a break from the party and talking to us. Thank you so much, Ray.
Thank you, guys. Listen, I'm going to keep you guys updated on everything I got going on, too. The Reality Check News, TMZ, we did it again, baby. I'm a journalist.
All right.
Okay, man.
Thanks for calling us sophisticated, by the way.
Yeah, we really appreciate that. We don't hear
that. For a good reason.
Man. I do what I can.
Okay.
I do what I can.
All right. Well, Ray J's not the only one celebrating Diddy's verdict. We also spoke to Stevie J, Diddy's longtime friend and producer. He spoke to us on our Tubi show, which is streaming right now. You can watch the United States versus Sean Combs inside the Diddy trial. That is streaming for free right now on Tubi. And when we come back, more Inside the Newsroom.
So, you know, it's so funny that you watch all these shows, these dramatic shows where you see newsrooms, and everybody's kind of at typewriters or computers, and it's all nice and neat.
It doesn't really happen that way, as you've just seen.
Yeah, I mean, some days, you know, maybe not a lot is going on, but more likely than not, especially in these times, a lot is going on, and there are a lot of balls in the air.
Because there are a lot of different platforms that people are trying to serve as.
Which is really the point. That's actually a really good point.
Right.
That
it used to be you were just working on one newscast.
And that's it.
And that's it. Or
now you
one
have
edition of
websites
newspaper.
and social, and within social, you've got YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and all of that. And then juggling television shows and refeeding these shows and in real time watching all this stuff happen.
So after doing that for a full day, you're saying you want to do this every day?
Well, we have been doing it every day.
No, I mean showing people every day.
No, this is it.
Yeah, well, not that's it. We might do it some other days.
We might do it some other days.
Yeah.
But
hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, this was something. We will see you tomorrow.